Hey, it's my birthday! I'm 22. Well, once this video's out,
Hello, everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm one.
We got an audience today.
Say hi.
Oh.
Say your names.
Avery's here. Andrew also.
Wow, double A's.
He's McNatt. I don't care what he says. But anyways, today, continuing Nicolas Cage week, we've got 2 horror movies. We've got Color Out of Space and Mandy. They're both on Shudder, so that's why this is our streaming Junkies episode.
It counts.
It's streaming. Shudder. I guess they're owned by I think AMC,
I wouldn't be surprised.
the channel.
It does look like it was
Whoever
by them.
owns that. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to start off with Color Out of Space. I guess we could give a little background for it. It's based off an H.P. Lovecraft, little short story. Essentially,
He was on heroin or LSD.
oh man, H.P. Lovecraft.
Or
ahead
some sort
his
of acid.
time. He's the guy, for people that don't know, he's the guy who wrote the Cthulhu type stuff.
Yeah.
Like the story.
I have some really interesting trivia for this movie.
Oh, okay. Nick, throw one out.
Throw one out right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta find it. Richard Stanley, the director, and a Swedish filmmaker, Henrik Moller or something like that. Apparently, they performed a ritual together to the Lovecraftian god Yog-Sothoth while in the Pyrenees to get the film made.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it. This movie's trippy. And
It is.
this is like
I still
this
don't
has
get
been
it.
remade 4 different times.
Really?
Yes,
Well, I've never heard of it.
I think the first one was called Die Monsters Die, and then Color of Space, and then Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
It's just been remade. But this one had Nicolas Cage, so we had to talk about it. We'll just hop in. What do you think about Nicolas Cage in this movie and his overall, just Nick, the guy, the man?
This is just a different level of Nick Cage crazy.
Yeah.
I say that in almost every
This
movie. But
I don't know. This, and we'll get to Mandy, but I feel like in Mandy he breaks.
He looks a little tamed in some parts.
Yes, but he gets near the end though he gets bad. But we're not talking about Mandy. We're talking about Color Out of Space. He gets pretty loopy there at the end. It just pops off at the end. Overall, I think he was just being Nick Cage.
This is literally one of those things that I told you about, where it's about Nick Cage. It's a Nick Cage genre.
Yes, it's just
Nick Cage.
it has
his own
to
genre.
be. Nick Cage movies consist of him seeming like a very normal guy, but it's Nick Cage, and then he has to scream for some reason.
Yeah, and freak out in some way.
The Beast, that type stuff.
Yeah.
Wicker Man, Ghost Rider, literally all the movies, all
He
his
just
movies.
screams.
He's just
That's what he's good for.
he's got to scream for some reason.
Yeah.
But we kind of already talked about knowing what we know about before this, but I just knew it was a novel by H.P. Lovecraft, and the poster was really pretty, and literally that's the same reason I watched Mandy because of the colors.
I didn't know anything about this movie coming into this.
Yeah, but definitely,
I knew who H.P. Lovecraft was because I've
Yes.
heard of him before, but
and another one that's kind of based off of H.P. Lovecraft is Underwater with Kristen Stewart. It's based off of the monster in that movie is supposed to be Cthulhu, so which is pretty cool.
I knew it was going to be somewhat acid level.
Yes, it's definitely gets real trippy, especially once things start fusing together.
Yeah, the thing that I really liked about this movie was that you didn't know how it was going to end.
But how did you think this movie was going to end when we watched it?
I really
I
didn't
don't
have
know.
the time to think.
Yeah, every time something happened, I'm like, I don't know what's happening now.
Yeah.
Especially after the kid and the mom fused together, I'm like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
So the
I wasn't
color
expecting that.
zaps them together, and I'm like, okay, well, that's
Is that the
interesting.
only thing that's supposed to happen for him?
I don't know. Well, the llamas zapped together. Excuse me, they were alpacas.
The alpacas.
Zapped together, and they made an alpaca salad. The visuals in this movie were disgusting.
Yeah, they were.
Oh,
but I liked it though.
Yes, they reminded me of, especially the mom. She had zits or something up top.
Yeah.
And they didn't show all of it, but it was pretty gross.
I really did like it.
I thought it was good. It was good. I'm sure some of that's it is practical. They did a good job. The makeup artist did a good job, especially with the kid being fused into the.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, it's so gross.
And the part where he kisses her.
Oh yeah,
and all
and
that goo just
yeah,
came
Nicolas
out.
Cage
That's pretty
loses
gross.
it. He like falls in love with his little mom-son fusion.
Yeah.
And
But I
then-
think he was just insane.
yeah, he just lost it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the water because he's rubbed it on his skin, remember? And he got crocodile skin.
God. Could you explain this to anyone?
What no.
No.
Honestly, it's like an asteroid fell from space and made people crazy. And I think that's kind of supposed to be the moral of the story is that something that's almost futuristic makes everyone go crazy.
I don't know.
Or it's like
It's got to be like a demon or something. Because
it's a color out of space.
What's her name? La Vida Loca? What is her name? Hold on. Lavina. Yeah,
Yes.
she's like summoning demons and shit. So
Yeah, I think she was just kind of already crazy. She was just a teenager,
Okay.
but then like
she's just having that phase where she doesn't
Yes.
know if she's like.
my sister went through that phase.
I can see that.
I mean, that's what I think was trying to be conveyed is just maybe that the future is kind of scary or that there's something something being put into a new habitat or ecosystem can completely screw with everything. And
I don't know. I still don't have the time to process it. I wish I
yeah,
watched it
this
again.
definitely needs to be probably a second watch, and I'd say the same thing about Mandy. But overall the story is just kind of
It's crazy.
It just kind of goes. It
Yeah.
just boom, then we're here. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, but
things that
sometimes it
happen,
is.
things that happens in the movies that there's really no rhyme or reason
Mm-mm.
for how they happen, why they happen.
It's just kind of a horror movie
Yeah,
in that sense.
yeah. It's a horror. It's psychedelic horror.
Yes.
It's one of those movies where
And same thing with Mandy. These came out both in 2019. I guess he was just kind of like, well, I'm going to do some trippy horror movies.
well, he knows a director.
Oh, okay.
So from
Like he wanted to do a martial arts movie with jujitsu.
yeah, we'll talk about like why he did this in a second, but like yeah, the story itself suffered. What I really admire about this movie is that the story itself is separate from what you see on screen.
I would agree with that.
Because like you could talk about the story, but that doesn't describe what's
It's not
happening
exactly
on screen.
what's going on in the plot, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
So,
I love the movie, and the Metacritic score is pretty good. It's 70.
I think these were both had printed. Mandy and Color Out of Space both had pretty similar scores on IMDb.
Yeah,
Yeah, 6.5 for Mandy, 6.2 for Color Out of Space.
What's the Metacritic score?
I don't care. All I care about is IMDb.
Well, it's just really impressive to me that like a bunch of movie
Metacritic
critics just said-
Metacritic for Mandy was 81,
Okay, that's pretty good.
and then Color Out of Space was 70.
I guess these were really good movies.
They are pretty decent movies for what they are. I feel like they're both very good base horror movies. Like they're just horror movies.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like certain horror movies, like I don't know, let's say Freaky, because we went and saw that
Yeah.
recently. That's one
That
of the
was
most
pretty bad.
recent. Yeah, it's bad because it's trying to be not just a horror movie. That kind of plot that it has in that movie is pretty cool, but
Yeah.
just they trying to make it more than one thing. While these both they're trippy horror movies, yes, but that's all they are. They're
Yeah.
nothing else. If you are watching these movies, you're probably into the other movie. Like
Probably.
the stuff on Shudder, like where you can watch these, is the type of movies.
Yeah. This definitely wasn't sci-fi.
Mm-mm.
No, this movie was definitely just
Even though
psychedelic
it is
horror.
a color out of space, it's not sci-fi.
It's not.
That's why I'll commend both the movies of just being they are what they are. They are psychedelic horror movies that just go off the
Yeah.
rails.
What counts as sci-fi to me is when they start showing holograms
That's when it
or
starts.
floating screens. Yeah, it's not sci-fi until you see that shit. Well, let's just go to Nicolas Cage.
We'll talk about his character,
Yeah.
or
Let's just
because
talk.
honestly, I don't feel like any of the characters are that important in this movie.
I really don't think so. I mean,
They're-
Latvia, Lavida. What's her name?
Lavina.
Lavina. Yeah, Lavina. She's all right.
She's probably the most important. The other two get fused together.
Yeah,
and
and
then
then-
the guy from Cheech and Chong, David Chong.
Ezra. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, that's the guy's name in the movie, but I
Yeah.
gotta see that.
No, there's that black guy that we thought that he was gonna die first,
He made it.
but he made it
to the
throughout the
very
movie.
end.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Tommy
say what
Chong,
part.
excuse me.
Yeah,
But
we thought this was gonna be like a basic horror movie. Where
It
they
was
were gonna-
not.
No,
Not at all. But Nicolas Cage's character, I don't know. He kind of is the one that him and his daughter, Lavina. Lavina kind of lasts through it all. But he goes crazy while she goes crazy, but not necessarily because of the stuff going on around. Not because of the alien or whatever it was. The stuff going on around her makes her go crazy. And she was already kind of
She's already nuts.
She was already
in a way. I'm not saying like, you know, anyone with spiritual like rituals or whatever is nuts, but I'm just saying that she was kind of crazy in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. She literally like carved her forehead with a diamond on it or something.
Oh yeah, wasn't that important?
I
don't know. It just gets so trippy.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again. You should watch it again if you're watching this.
Yeah, I should watch it.
But
this was Nick Cage playing himself. Like
just
this is how
just in a different genre.
This is how I imagine him reacting to the IRS, to his accountant, his manager, and probably his dog shitting on the carpet.
Yeah,
this is how I imagine him freaking out.
Just
like
grabbing a shotgun, trying to kill his family.
No, it was like he reacted to his to that daughter, to that character, and he was mimicking her, and like there's so much problems.
Oh yeah,
you just gotta
he's a real dick bag.
Yeah, I think
he's a real shitty dad.
That's really how I imagine him like talking to his dog.
Yeah,
like he's just barking
and his
up a
kids.
storm. Yeah,
even his actual kids maybe.
He has kids. Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Earlier we talked about how why he made this. So this movie, this was the third collaboration between Nicolas Cage and XYZ Films after Mom and Dad and Mandy. So this was like his third movie with them.
Mom and Dad, it is the worst one for sure.
I know. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
And then Color Out of Space, and then I just really like Mandy.
No, I honestly I don't even pay attention to his performance in this because I think I was just enjoying way too much of what's
going on in
happening.
The movie.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I mean, I hate the fact that they stayed in one area.
Fair.
Because that just really made it.
The only thing we saw on the outside was like through newscastings and stuff.
Newscastings. I think that was supposed to be the mayor's office, and that was barely even shown. So we never really got to see like the town itself. I really loved how he was doing the nagging spastic teen thing.
He did he does his normal crazy shtick or whatever, but he did it a little bit differently.
Yeah,
for this movie.
And one of the trivia I read was that Nick Cage and Richard Stanley, or is that his name? Yeah, Stanley, the director. They actually went and searched for the Holy Grail together. I think this was a movie that Nick Cage always wanted to do because he said that he loved H.P. Lovecraft and his dad loved H.P. Lovecraft. So this was definitely a movie that he wanted to do.
Gotcha.
And you can really see that while watching the movie. So it was really impressive.
So overall, Color Out of Space, I think, is one of Nick Cage's better movies.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily about his character or any of the characters. It's
when he's a supporting actor, well, he wasn't a supporting actor, but when it's not centered around him, it's so much better.
What about
He's
Ghost
so much
Rider?
Better. Nah.
Just kidding. But that is real. Where's the bag of money?
Thank you, Avery. I'm glad that we have someone here to remind us because sometimes we forget.
We do.
Matthew doesn't even do that.
But anyways, moving on to
Mandy. Yeah, I didn't finish this movie, so you're gonna have to take
I got this. I took hella notes on this.
He took a lot of notes.
Kind of.
It's kind of concerning.
But anyways, so I want to start off with the quote that's at the beginning of this movie, and I think it fits with the movie very well. It says, "When I die, bury me deep, lay two speakers at my feet, wrap some headphones around my head, and rock and roll me when I'm dead."
Is this movie about music?
No, it just you did not get far enough to see when it gets just insane and hardcore as hell.
You can spoil it for me. I don't really care about spoilers.
So eventually, those hardcore biker guys you saw, he meets this guy and
devil bikers,
the devil bikers or whatever. He's like, yeah, they just had some really bad LSD, and that's why they're like that.
Oh,
and then. So, well, actually, way before that even happens, the cults we meet, they hang up his wife by her feet and burn her alive.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, well, it's because she wouldn't go into the cult. So like the scene you were on, because I was watching it along with them before we like started. The Jeremiah guy, he's got the robes on. He takes his dick out and shows her, and all she does is sits there and laughs.
Oh, cool.
So, and that's the scene.
I was right. It did look like a porn.
That's the scene I was talking about, though. It's so scary. Like they like distort her face and everything, and she's just laughing, and it gets real deep. It's trippy as hell.
It was entertaining.
But yeah, overall, because she dies, and then it's just a revenge tour after that.
Yeah.
But there's one scene I'll get to when I talk about his scene that I really stood out to me. But Nicolas Cage in this movie, the first half he doesn't really shine because he's kind of put on the sidelines. Yeah. But in the end, it shows he could kind of actually be a pretty good action star. And like,
here's a like we never talked about this.
I mean, he's old.
Throughout the week, we never talked about this, but he's a really good actor.
He is a good actor.
But just recently, he's just been bad.
He is.
Because like he had to pay for taxes and stuff, and
he is just kind of crazy.
He is crazy.
He is just as a person.
Yeah, I'm sure he would probably want to be in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
Yeah, he's almost, I feel like, on Goldblum status, where he's kind of just so eccentric.
Yeah, except that he's not as calm as Goldblum.
No, yeah, it's a
Goldblum is like on weed. Nicolas Cage is on like acid.
He's just tripping.
Yeah,
he's ready to fight someone.
Yeah,
and that's kind of this movie. So after. We're kind of already gotten into spoilers, but we'll go over some talking points like we did with Color Out of Space of just did you know anything about this movie?
No.
Like both of these. I'll even ask that. Did you know about either of these movies before I had recommended them?
Okay, Color Out of Space, no, but Mandy I've heard of, and I've been meaning to watch it since I've heard it.
Yes. But
like people were telling me, yeah, it's really one of those movies that you really got to let yourself go.
Oh yeah,
think
definitely.
About much.
But there's the colors in both these movies is something that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
And it's because one, there's pinks and purples, and purple's my favorite color, obviously. Haha. How would you well, you didn't finish it.
No, not completely, but
well, how I would explain this movie is just it's kind of a revenge tour for Nicolas Cage after his wife gets burned alive.
I thought this was just a movie about sleep paralysis.
You didn't get far enough, man.
No, I didn't. But I did get to the point. But
at the beginning, yes, where I think I even have.
She got injected with wasp or something like that.
That big
wasp sting.
I do respect that. That was like an actual like prop. And it was
That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go over all my notes at the end because they're honestly just a bunch of like observations.
Yeah,
some of them are, but the story, again, it's just kind of a revenge tour after his wife gets burned alive, and it's just a psychedelic. Like, there's one scene, you didn't get there, there's a chainsaw fight.
Oh, cool.
It's awesome.
Is it like a sword fight?
Yes, literally the note.
Chainsaws.
The note I took was, so Nicolas Cage has a chainsaw, and then the other guy pulls the chainsaw out twice as long, and I was like, do I smell a saw fight coming on? And yeah, it's somewhere in there. So I'll just go over my notes, I guess. What I said, the colors in this movie are just astounding, again, because of the purples, but there's not just purples. There's greens, there's pinks, there's yellows, there's blues. There's just so many colors, and they're done so well, and I would put that towards the cinematographer doing.
I don't know. That wasn't really cinematography. That was really in the editing. That was after, because everything in it looks like it was after, or they use like a lens filter on there. But I've seen that before.
I think it was probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I can see that.
But one thing I did say to the colors, like on the negative side, is the movie seems foggy again because of the filter. Sometimes it's like, is this? Because the first time I watched this movie, I watched it. Not legally. No, I did. I watched a camera recording of it, but it made it even worse. So one thing I really did also like was the scene intros. You would have seen a couple of them, but it's like, excuse me.
There were drawings, weren't they?
No, like it was they'd be certain words. I wish I wrote them down, but it's like the Stranger Things font almost.
Yeah. And
it comes in. It's like, oh, the decapitating or something. I don't know.
When did these movies come out?
2019, both of them.
Okay, then yeah, they would have followed the Stranger Things font. Yeah.
And one thing we even said kind of about we're going towards it with Color Out of Space is that they're kind of ambiguous in a sense that they
Yeah.
kind of just go.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think both these movies really had going for it, but I think Mandy had it just a little bit better.
I love that this movie, you know, like in every other movie, when you get from point A to point B, they have like, you know, a pretty linear line where you can
Yeah.
follow through.
This
with,
just kind of
with these movies, it's just kind of like
is we're here now. We're here.
A,
Makes sense of it.
B, then they go all the way this way,
Mm-hmm.
and then straight line for a little bit, and then they
Yes, I
jagged
would
edge
agree.
again. So
And then the next two I have just in my notes is where they sleep. They have the windows. It's all
yeah.
windows.
Yeah,
I
you
could
talked
never
about that.
like
yeah.
imagine a 4 like walled room and 3 of them are windows to the outside.
Yeah.
And they live like in a forest, and I could never sleep.
I'd love to do that. That'd be entertaining.
Oh,
I hate that.
and then another thing, she says that they live near Crystal Lake. I thought that's probably a little horror nod to Friday the 13th.
Ah, there's probably
Um,
little Easter eggs around there then.
Yeah. Well, also they do one thing with the scene I was talking about where she's laughing. They overlay his face, Jeremiah's face, with hers,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just can't tell. I'm like, did they like cast these people to look similar?
You know what I just realized?
Yes.
So
What?
I think this is the way they would do it if they redid House of a Thousand Corpses.
Kind of. I could see this. If you told me this was directed by Rob Zombie, I believe it because it's very similar to one of his movies called Lords of Salem.
Yeah.
It's just very trippy, and
Because-
it's one of those movies that go here, the here,
Yeah.
like you were saying.
But besides this movie being made in 2019, or like the cameras being made in modern, you know, with
Mhm.
cameras, modern cameras and stuff. If you had an older camera and you told me this was made in the 80s, I would have believed it.
Yeah, if you added like a kind of the filter,
Yeah.
because they've got like filters like that to make it look older. Yeah, it's a very 80s,
This would be this
90s
would be
kinda
entertaining.
trippy movie. But the one scene I want to talk about because this is where I'm at in my notes. After they kill his wife, he like passes out, or they like hit him over the head and he's knocked out.
Yeah.
He just loses it. He has his breakdown as Nick Cage does, and he goes on
In
his
every
revenge
movie.
story.
Yeah.
But it's just this square shot where he's
Yeah.
in his bathroom and he's drinking alcohol
Mhm.
and he's freaking out and he's just in his underwear and the tiger shirt that he's wearing.
Yeah. That's all
But
they wanted.
It looks so cool, and the colors in that bathroom are just insane. But I'm like, oh, that's just such a human reaction, though. Like, what would you? I feel like that's exactly like what most people would do when their wife gets burned alive in front
Yeah.
of them, is go and scream and break things. And
This is just out of nowhere, but like I wonder how Nick Cage gets these movies, like, or how he gets paid. Because most actors, you know, they have a contract and they talk it out, but I don't think Nick Cage has a choice.
after his wife dies, just to kind of continue along the plot and my notes, Nick Cage has this freak out, and then he makes this axe like sword thing. Just, you know, like that's what I do whenever my wife gets killed by a cult, is make an axe thing that I'm gonna kill him with.
It doesn't even have to be a wife; it could just be a girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
But then the title Mandy doesn't come up till an hour 15.
Oh,
They
who's Mandy?
to the girl, his girlfriend, wife, whatever. Her
Oh,
name's
that's
Mandy.
her. Okay.
But literally, it doesn't come up till an hour 15 in. This is like a 2 hour, 20-minute movie, I think.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like a nice touch because everything's kind of like a prologue, and then you have there's driving shots where it's like over the car and stuff.
Yeah.
So cool. Just again, the rest are pretty much just about the cinematography and how I thought they were really cool. Like there's some fight scenes that are actually pretty good for it being Nicolas Cage, and I don't think it was a stunt double, but it's like a sword, with his axe thing that he made.
Yeah.
And then one thing is, I think either they copied it or Ari Aster copied it, but at the end, a like temple that's very similar to the Midsummer one gets burned down, and I'm like,
but what if it was like
or they were just on the same
universe?
the same wavelength. I believe it.
Yeah.
But overall, his character in this is just great. It's actually a Nick Cage role that I genuinely really like.
Yeah.
I feel like National Treasure is just kind of there nostalgia-wise,
Yeah.
but otherwise, he doesn't have a role, at least for me, that's, wow, this is really good. But I feel like this one, he really goes all out, and it's like, this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
This
This is basically what he wants to, like both of these movies. This is
Mhm.
something that he wanted to do.
yes.
Overall, this the first one, Colorado Out of Space.
Colorado.
Colorado Out of Space. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
I enjoyed that kind of movie. Sometimes like I pay attention for it.
You got to
like,
be
critically,
also
but at the
sometimes
same
in
time,
a mood for both of these.
What kind of mood, Will?
Like a good mood, not necessarily a good mood, but just a mood,
a mood.
an accepting mood, I guess.
Accepting mood. Do you mean sexual mood?
No.
I think
No,
he
I
means
just
sexual
mean
mood.
sometimes I don't want to watch a trippy movie like this. I just want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy where everything is spoon-fed to me.
Yeah.
But sometimes I want to
Every
watch
DC
this
movie
trippy
ever.
stuff that, oh, God. We need like an alarm that's like trigger words. And it every time.
I also said something about DC, but you didn't hear it.
Yeah,
The
whatever.
audience will hear it.
Yeah. But anyways,
You have to be in a mood.
overall, I think this is Nick Cage kind of shining in what he would want to do,
Yeah.
and like with movies.
It's rare
instead-
to see him do something. that he
Instead of
really
making
loves.
him play this normal character and then become
Insane.
insane, like Ghost
Psycho?
Rider or
Yeah.
something, or Wicker Man, instead he almost already knows he's gonna be crazy, or he's already put in this situation that's gonna make you crazy, and it makes more sense.
I feel like when he reads a script, he's just like, "Oh, I go crazy in this. Yeah, I'll take this job.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or oh man, this is good idea.
I get to do LSD while I'm on set.
Oh, why not?
Yeah."
Oh, and it pays part of my taxes? That's what my agent's telling me. I don't know. I'm just here. But anyways, I think we'll give both those movies. We'll start off with Color Out of Space, a review.
I give it a 7 out of
7?
10.
I give Color Out of Space a 5.5.
Why?
It's just something with it didn't click the same. Some of it felt very
It did a lot of stuff.
Sharknado level
Oh.
of just ridiculous.
You know, I actually almost wrote that down on my notes.
I believe it. I think
Yeah.
we may have said that when we watched it.
Oh, okay.
But and then Mandy. What would you give Mandy?
From what I've seen so far, the only thing
No,
that
that's
bothered
fair.
me, the only thing that bothered me in the movie was like there were so many shots that it was just holding on to like one scene.
Yeah,
So
I feel like it takes a huge tone shift, and you kind of are okay with everything
Yeah.
that happens before. But
well, I'm not gonna give this a rating.
not gonna
'cause
give. That's fair.
It's not fair.
I'm gonna give
if
it
I
an
did.
8 because I just really, really like this movie. The poster is what sold me, and it's just the colors. But overall,
These two are
that's
pretty
Nicolas
entertaining.
Cage week. I feel like those were two really good movies. You should go watch. If you like horror movies, just say horror movies are your favorite, like genre movies. Definitely watch these because either they'll bring a new subgenre of
They're
horror
a
movies.
different level of horror, psychedelic horror.
Yeah, but there's plenty of them out there. I just can't really think of any.
Psychedelic horror implies you have to do
Like Rob
psychedelics.
Zombies are another good one. I feel like that's a good place to start. But then watch these.
Mhm.
There's just so many good ones.
Yeah.
Go watch these. They're on Shudder. Shudder is actually a really good deal. 'Cause
Shutter should have a section of genre where it just says Nicolas Cage.
somebody should just buy Shudder. Because if it was
I
with
feel like HBO would buy them.
if someone else, honestly, they should.
They probably would.
Because there's just so many movies. I'm like, man, I wish this was not on a separate streaming service.
Not paid, by the way.
Yeah.
Not
Hey,
sponsored.
Shudder, sponsor us.
Don't.
Anyways, God, I hate my life. Thank y'all for watching. That's it. Goodbye.
That's it.
Not really.
That's it.
No. Thank
we
y'all
gotta
for
have that
watching.
end title
This has
screen.
been Nicolas Cage week. I hope y'all watched our Cruise and Jiu-Jitsu video, our big feature film podcast. I hope you watched our National Treasure
Yep. It's all up there.
film report. And I hope you're watching this video. I hope you got this far. I hope this gets edited down a little bit. I felt like we talked a long time. But yeah, that's been Nicolas Cage week. So thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment down below your favorite Nicolas Cage video.
Send us hate comments.
Movie. Send us hate comments because that's all we get anyways.
Yeah.
It makes me want to do this more. Please. But anyways, thank y'all for watching.
Unless you're, what is it, grandma or something? Grandma?
Granny Goodness. She's
Granny
giving us a
Goodness knows
second
best.
chance. Thanks, Granny's knows best. I hated you on
Hey,
the
you
past
can
videos.
say he because you don't know if it's a he
Or she.
Stop assuming.
Granny Goodness, though. I should just say she. She's pretty cool. It's a good.
Thank you, Granny.
We've been the Continuity Crew. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that bell, wherever it is.
If you don't like the video, just hit dislike the button. Dislike the button. Hit the dislike button.
If you like
It's completely fine.
you know what to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, we've been the
Interaction's
Continuity Crew. We love movies. We love y'all. We will see y'all next time on whatever video. Next
It's my
week.
birthday.
It is his birthday. Happy
Turned
birthday,
22.
Win. When's 22? He's an old man.
I
3
don't
more
like
years and your brain's just done developing.
My brain already finished developing when I was 18.